Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well today. Hope you've had a nice weekend and that everything's going well for you. Everything's good here. Everybody's doing good here in Brasstown at the Celebrating Appalachia house, the Blind Pig and the Acorn house. Everybody's okay. Granny's doing good. The girls and babies, and of course Matt and Austin and Paul. Everybody's doing okay. I don't know if you can't see. It's all too light right through there where you would be able to see the beautiful fall colors. It have arrived definitely in Brasstown. I was afraid this year with the terrible dry summer that we've had, and really we've had a dry fall too. We had all that rain from Helene that week, the little storm before Helene, and then Helene we had over 9 inches. But since then we've not had any rain. Got a few sprinkles over the weekend, but not enough to even wet the ground. Anyway, I was afraid that the leaves would not be beautiful like they usually are, but they are really beautiful. In the last 3 or 4 days, end of last week, over the weekend, seems like they've really peaked. I think they're just stunning. They're just beautiful. In fact, Katie did you can see, I'd like to do a video about them, but I've not done one yet. But let me put this in the chat, and I'll put all these links in the description below too if you watch this later. But this is a video that Katie did it, but she put up for the Presley girls yesterday. Some of you may have already seen it. It is just beautiful. She did such a good job, but really, really beautiful. You can see some of the lovely colors. And I told Corey yesterday when we come home from church and I looked out towards her house before coming on home, I said up the driveway, I said, Corey, your house nestled right there with all the trees around. It looks like it should be in a TV movie or something, a movie about the fall. It's really, really, really pretty. So you'll have to tell me if the leaves are pretty where you're at, if you're in a place where the seasons cause the leaves to change colors. I say that they're putting on their fall garments. And they're really, really beautiful, even though I thought they were not going to be this year. They're just beautiful, just lovely everywhere I look. There's the yellows and the reds and the golden colors and some green still mixed in there. Just really, really pretty. Really pretty. So as far as videos this week, we have a few coming up. I'd like to do a garden tour and show you about the fall stuff and kind of show you how now that we've been having nightly frost, the summer stuff's all gone, all just kind of shriveled and gone. But how the fall things are doing. So maybe I'll be able to do that. I've not done it yet though. But I'm going to share a chicken soup video, but I'm going to tell you something funny about it. So I wanted to help Katie. A lot of you know we've talked about and mentioned a little bit. I don't think we've really talked about it, but that Katie's had to give up some of the things that because she's breastfeeding that hurt Ira. And one of them is dairy. And so we all try to just keep that in mind and think about, because we want to support Katie with, what we're eating. Of course, she can cook for herself, but, if we can eat the same thing, that'd be great too. And she does cook for herself. Anyway, I was going to make her I said, I'll make you some, Matt had to go out of town to help his dad do some stuff. And I said, I'll help you. How about I help I make us for supper, I'll make some chicken soup and you can eat it and, eat it on it a day or two, give you something to eat for lunch or whatever. And Katie said, sure, that'd be fine. Well, I made it and I videoed it. So you'll be able to see the video. Really simple. There's really not much of a recipe to it. I just do it different about every time, depending on what kind of vegetables I have. But I put butter in it and I had it all made. I was so happy. And then Katie's like, right when I said, the soup's ready. You can eat it whenever you want to. You can wait till supper, or if you're hungry, you can eat it. And then she looked at it and then she said, did you put butter in it? And I was like, oh no, I did. It's just such a habit to put butter in it. So I did. So I felt so bad. So she couldn't eat it, but Corey and Austin helped me eat it. They took it. I got some, I ate some, but then I said, Corey, take it home for supper and y'all enjoy it. And then the next day, I'd used all my vegetables, but I went to the grocery store the next day. I go on Fridays and I bought some more and bought another squash is what I needed and made Katie some more and only used olive oil. And so she's been enjoying it anyway. So yeah, you'll get to see that video, but you'll notice probably all of you who pay attention, you probably be like, Tipper, you can't use butter for Katie, but I did, and then she didn't get to eat it, but Corey and Austin and I enjoyed it, and it was good, and then I made Katie some more the next day, so that was my funny soup story, but of course, I don't tell that in the video because I just think that I've made Katie some soup and me, but anyway, so you can watch for that one, and then I did another back in the, summer. I was doing Q&As. People had asked so many questions about what it's like to be a YouTube creator, which is really, I have the same questions about people that I watch, other people, and especially before I started being a creator, a YouTube creator. And anyway, so a long time ago, I had asked people that said you could ask questions. I talked about how YouTube had influenced my life, how it's changed my life. And a lot of you did. And I'd been doing those Q&As. And then in June with Woodrow and the garden and all that, I just quit doing them. And so there's still questions there waiting. So I hope to share another one of those this week. Hope to share another one of those this week. And if you've seen our video last night, Matt and I, we talked about, if you didn't, you can watch it later, but we just did a roundup, kind of a wrap, if you will, of our gardening this year, of the things that we think were the best, what we were most pleased with, the things that didn't work so much, and then things that we would like to try next year too. Talk about our other channel, the Blind Pig and the Acorn, for a minute, a YouTube channel. Let's see, I was going to share this link with you. Paul has kind of taken it over, which I'm so glad. And he has done that for several years. But now that he's retired, and he's been retired since Christmas, but he had so much stuff he had to get organized and go through, and all that, things he'd put off for so many years of working. He was a principal, and he also drove a school bus. So his day started at 5 o'clock and might end at 10 o'clock at night. So lots of stuff he let go, he's been working on, but he's kind of got to a place now where he's really kind of getting all that organized. And so he's going to be posting more. He did, I think last week in the live, I shared a video where he kind of talked about the channel and what his plans was and all that. Well, that video I just shared is one that he shared last week. It's really interesting, really fascinating. I really enjoyed it. It's kind of focuses on Jim Reeves a lot, but along the way tells a bunch of different stories. It starts out him talking about a Christmas present that Miss Cindy, Matt's mother, Miss Cindy, gave him years ago, of these framed albums, and he'd had them in his studio. He has a music studio at his house, and so he talks about them. But then at the end, he actually tries to sing with one of them. He'd kind of assumed all this time that it really was a Jim Reeves album, which he's a Jim Reeves fan, so that was good. But it turns out it was an orchestra, the Living Waters, I think, orchestra, doing Jim Reeves songs. So then Paul tries to sing with the orchestra as the gist of the whole video. And that part's really good, but it's all the way at the end when he actually gets there. But I really enjoyed the video because he tells stories about the other album that she framed was Eddie Rabbit. So you get to hear about Eddie Rabbit, some stuff about Jim Reeves, of course, about Paul's life, some stuff about Daddy. Even get a peek at his music studio. And of course, I've seen it hundreds and hundreds of times, but it's really interesting. I never get tired of looking at the board, though, with all the knobs and the buttons and all that. I have no clue about any of it. I don't even know how Paul keeps it straight, but he does. But reminds me, I know when I was a little girl, I would have loved to have played with that. I like to play with buttons and dials and things like that, because I thought I was working in an office. I wanted to pretend. Me and my cousin Tina would draw like calculator, like with numbers on a piece of wood, and then we would act like we were, adding up stuff. I wonder if Tina remembers that. Oh, Shy, thank you so much. Thank you very, very much for that. Very nice. Anyway, so you get a peek inside Paul's studio. It's really interesting video, so I put it in there if you want to go watch it. And of course, you get to hear Paul sing. He has a beautiful, beautiful voice, and Jim Reeves was amazing. And I learned stuff about him. I didn't know he died so young. I didn't know a lot of different things about him. I didn't know that him and Ira Leuven were friends. So I learned a lot in the video. It's really, really interesting. So now that Paul's kind of getting that situated how he wants to do stuff. He's going to try to do, this is his plan. I'm going to read off my phone here. On Tuesdays, which will be tomorrow, it'll be Old Time Tuesdays with a cover of an old song. He'll put up a cover of an old song. And then on Thursdays, he's going to do try to do original songs. So maybe that will be Pap. He wrote so many songs, but Paul's wrote a lot of songs. Corey and Katie have wrote a lot of songs. Or maybe it'll be one of his friends, maybe it'll be somebody else. So be on the lookout for those on the Blind Pig and the Acorn channel. That was that link that I would put in there, and I'll put it in the description below too. And also, Paul and I are really excited this week. We hope it'll happen. It was one of you several months ago told me that Doel Dykes, amazing guitar picker, said something about us on his channel. He has a YouTube channel, and I'm sorry I did not put that one in there. Let me go find it real quick. He has a really, really great YouTube channel, and he had mentioned us in one of his videos, and I was like, I told Paul, and Paul's like, are you kidding? Anyway, after that, Doel had bought some jewelry from Katie, and I think Doel's son did too. And anyway, we got to end up, Paul last week got to go talk with him and eat lunch with him. They had a really nice time. And let me put this here before I forget. I'm going to put the link in here so you can go see Doel's channel, hear his amazing guitar playing. It's amazing. And anyway, we hope that this week we're going to get to go see him, and Paul and him are going to sing, and I'm just going to videos all I'm going to do, but I'll be able to meet him. But he's going to be part of Paul's train series for many years now. Every November, Paul does a train series, so that like those 4 weeks of November, he'll put up a train song. And sometimes he'll go, somebody over in Pine Log and play with them, someone in the lower part of the county. Sometimes it's Corey and Katie, and sometimes it's and me, and sometimes it's just Paul by himself. So over the years, he's done a lot of different train songs. Really interesting. Anyway, it's super, super exciting for us to get to know Doel a little bit. And, he's like a superstar guitar picker. I mean, he played for Grandpa Jones for many years, and today plays, with Tommy Emmanuel, and just all the, if you're into guitar picking like we are, you'd be amazed. And Paul said he was literally one of the nicest men he'd ever met in his life too. So I'm anxious to meet him myself. Oh, Margaret and Tracy, thank y'all so very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate both of you so much. Thank you. So that's my exciting news for this week. I hope that me and Paul will get to go and make music with Doel. I won't make any music. I'll just be the videographer. I'll just be that. But that'll be really, really exciting for me and Paul both. Of course, I want to talk a little bit about the storm. Still so much sadness and so much suffering. Here comes Mr. Binks hauling it off the steps. So much suffering. Please continue to pray for all those that have, lost their homes, lost their livelihoods. Just their whole world has been changed, and their very landscape. I'm going to share some videos about that in a moment, but just still struggling with being able to, even if it's, I've tried to put myself in their position. If it had happened here, I likely would be fine. My house, unless the trees fell on it or something like that. But as far as from flooding, but then if my road was gone, and then this was going on a month that I couldn't get out, I couldn't go, I couldn't go to town and get what I needed. I couldn't go take care of anything I needed to take care of. There's just many, many people that are still facing all those things. There's still people without power going on this many days, unless they had a generator. They've lost all the stuff in their refrigerator, their freezers. No matter how well stocked they were, it's all gone. Just so many things that they're dealing with. So please just continue to pray for them. And I've been putting like a little in the comment of each video, just some places you can donate to, financially donate. Some of them there's other ways to donate. If you go to their website, it's just their website link, and you can do that. Of course, I've been doing some updates, just sharing videos, and I'll put that link in the description below, and I'll share it in a minute there, just with different things that people, I have a really good friend that's sending me lots of information, and then a lot of you've sent me information and other people. So thank you so much for that, and just continue to pray for them. It does seem like there are still places taking donations, but then there's a lot of places I've heard that say now they really need, if you're willing to help, is either the volunteer or the monetary donations. Now that's not everywhere. There is still needs where people's taking truckloads of stuff, but they're just saying be sure before you take it that you know that that's what they need, because some places are so overwhelmed they can't accept anymore. There's just nowhere to put it. So just some things to think about. But the monetary, when you think about building back, buying 2x4s and roofing materials and nails and that kind of stuff, and then of course with winter coming, the need for shelter. A lot of people are living in tents, so all those are still real needs. And just pray and donate and help where you can. But I keep saying it's free to pray, as I know everybody struggles today with finances. So and people are not able to go because of their physical health or commitments they have at home. But you can pray, and we serve a mighty God, and He will help. So I do have some videos I want to share about that. This one, a lot of you had told me about this, but I didn't know there was a video. And this morning, just before I started, my friend sent it to me. But it was about a bull who was, after 21 days, they found still alive. The barn had fallen on him, and I don't know all the details about it, but you can go watch that video. It's really encouraging. I mean, really just something to be upbeat about. So that's really interesting, and you can go and watch it for a bright spot in all of that. And here is a video, or here is the link to my friends, the Holman's Homestead. They continue to share videos of the damage in their area. They are okay. I mean, they're doing okay, but they continue to just try to help those around them in the area where they live in. And they've got some really great videos showing some of the damage in their area, and then some of the ways that people are trying to help, so really check out the Holman's Homestead. They also have other great videos, though. They do What's Cooking Wednesday, and a lot of different things, and they share there on their homestead. So check them out. Another one was, I've shared several of his. See if it'll let me put all this in there. If not, I'll just go back and get the link. But this is Mark Huneycutt, and nope, it won't. Don't like all my talking. I was going to put all the text with it. I'll just read you the text and then put the link. It was too long, I'm sure that's what it was. But Mark has done, I don't know Mark. I never even heard of Mark until this happened, but he's done a lot of videos about the lots of different areas. I believe he's from Hendersonville, and this one, I've shared some of his before, but this one, let me go back and just get the link this time. This one shows, is one of his most recent ones. He may have done even another one by this one, but this one is Chimney Rock. He shows the debris field, like from up high. He has a drone with him. He hikes in there, but he has a drone. But he shows it just where so many of those slides happened, and they come down, and then what happened with them. So that it's really just, you can't even comprehend the damage that those landslides did. But then at the very end of it, there's a really beautiful song by Beaumont Beau about the whole situation. So make sure you go and you can see that, just the amazing damage, but you can also hear that really inspiring song. And in the description of Mark's videos, he has some different things to donate, some GoFundMes and things like that for individual people and other things. So you can definitely look in the description of his videos for more information. Talking about those how the storm changed those. I mean, the side of a mountain falls off, you can't put it back. That's never going to look the same. This is my friend sent me this. This is just a newspaper article from the Citizen Times talking about that, kind of the landscape changes, and also the environmental, how it's affected fish, and other animals, but especially focusing on the waterways, because of the rivers, all that stuff going in them, and the debris, and you know, the chemicals and stuff. Because your car, if my car goes in the creek, it's got oil in it, it's got gas in it, it's got all those things, so all those different things. And then of course people's houses, the same, has all those things in it. So you can read that if you want to for more information. Several of you sent me this, and I really couldn't find a link about it, but someone had mentioned it yesterday, and then Nicole sent it this morning. A donation center, Camping World in Marion, North Carolina. It says contact Jason Seidel, Seidel, on Facebook, and then I didn't have a link, or she didn't send me a link, and someone else had mentioned it. So if you have information about that, put that in there. I know that area of North Carolina, of course, was also hit very hard. So that's Camping World at Marion, North Carolina, and contact Jason Seidel, Seidel, on Facebook. So I don't really know anything else about that. Another channel, and I didn't have the link, but I think my friend there is talking about it, is the Geo Models. He has been just continuously putting up videos explaining about those big debris fields, and about how the rain and how it all worked together, and even the history of the past storms, like that one in 1916, and then other times where you can, from different satellite views, you can kind of see where things like this might have happened before, but his is really interesting. So, explaining the how and the why of Hurricane Helene in eastern Tennessee and western North Carolina. So yes, check out the Geo Models channel. I know a lot of people are not. Let me see. If I can go down a little bit. I could link to. This is the playlist that I've been doing, talking about sharing information. And you don't even have to watch the videos. You could if you wanted to, but if you just look in the description of those videos, you'll see lots of links and information to some of the channels like this I'm talking about, but also just resources, whether it's filing for unemployment, or donation centers or shelters or anything like that. So you can look for that. One place, and a lot of people, I know, are not on Facebook, don't like Facebook. I understand all of that. I'm going to put this one in there, though. This is the Facebook page for Yancey County Emergency Management, Yancey County. But that has been a place, because every county and pretty much every town has a Facebook page, where they, in normal times, where they might just talk about, the big fair that's coming to the county, or where the rabies clinic is that weekend for your dogs, for your pets, or something like that. But they've really turned into places where people can share daily information about updates, whether it's a place to get a good hot meal and take a bath and get donations, or supplies you might need, or how to even get help with your road. Your bridge is washed out. How can you get that temporarily fixed? And, going back to my example, if it was me, if the culverts and the bridge on my road were gone, well, maybe my car's sitting here fine, but I can't get there. If I could get my car on the other side of it and leave it parked somewhere, then maybe I could hike in and out. All those logistics of all that is just so much. But those pages a lot of times give the people that are suffering, the victims, information about that. And then also, though, it's a good place to go see if they're saying, right now we need this donation. We don't need that anymore. We can't accept it, but we need this. So it is a wealth of information. And I found on Facebook, even if I'm not locked in, even if I'm not logged in, sometimes I can look at pages. If that first little screen that pops up and says log in, if you can just exit out, then sometimes you can scroll through and look at stuff. So that might work for you and it might not work for you, but that is a wealth of information. The Appalachian channel with John Ward has a lot of videos and information. So that's great. Okay. And where to get supplies, heaters, gas cylinders. Thank you for sharing that. That's wonderful. This was I want to share, this is information. This was from Erwin, Tennessee, Help Heal Grant. If you or your business experienced damage due to the flood, we encourage you to apply and take this step toward recovery. So this is, of course, for that area, Erwin, Tennessee. So I'm going to put that in there. Anybody that knows someone could share that with them. And then let's see. This was also Yancey County, focusing on Yancey County. Community volunteers. Yancey County needs your help. We're looking for dedicated volunteers to assist with our ongoing relief efforts. Your time and effort can make a significant difference in supporting our community during this challenging period. If you're interested in volunteering, please call the Yancey County Helene Relief Center to connect and schedule volunteer opportunities. And that number is 828-682-1883. So let me see if I can put that in the and I'm sure you could call them if you were in Yancey County for help as well. But there's that. Let's see. Oh. And I could put their Facebook page too. Let's see, which is where you could get a lot of that information. Let's see, Papaw says Concert for Carolina raised $25 million for Helene survivors Saturday night in Panther Stadium. That's wonderful. I'd heard people had told me about that. Thank you, Papaw, for saying that. That's great information. My friend Dawn sent me this. I thought it was really interesting. This is it's from, a week or so ago, or maybe even more than that, but it just kind of gives you a real in-depth look about what Yancey County is dealing with. It's like a panel of their sheriff and their commissioners and emergency management, their lawyer, different people on it. I'm sure I left somebody out, but you can go and watch it. And it's really interesting to hear what they've been dealing with, what each one of them, I think all of them say they're native to Yancey County. Not that that would matter. Everybody thinks this is a horrible thing. I'm not saying that, but it's just the places and the people and stuff that they've known since they were little kids, to witness what's happened. But it's really interesting. They give a real, firsthand look into what they're dealing with there. So I just found it fascinating and inspiring and hopeful too. But if you want to go and watch that. And then I want to share, a lot of you have heard me talk about them, but I'll share it again. Here is the Deep River Farm YouTube channel. And he has, let's see if I can go find it real quick. Has several different avenues. Sorry about that. Several different avenues of help that they're focusing on. And I'll put this it'd be easier. Just go to if you go to his channel and you click on one of his videos and look in the description, watch the video, but you can see it's like there's one way that they're going to try to sponsor families who have lost everything, and they're working the details out of that. A lot of people have helped me or asked me about Christmas, thinking about the kids. There's already a project Santa for mountain. I don't know if it was for mountain children, but a organization that already served children for thinking about Christmas that needed, what people wanted to bless with Christmas. And so now they're going to focus part of their efforts. I think he said they've been doing this for 40 something years, but they're going to, of course, try to help the storm victims. And it's in Denton, North Carolina. But again, that information is in the description of his videos where you could reach out to them and donate or call them or whatever. And then the Operation Mountain Relief, where they're actually gathering supplies. But again, they have specific things they want to donate and want you to donate. So you'd have to find out more information about that. But all that information is in the descriptions of his videos, if you will, if you just look there, and you can watch his videos too. They're really, really great and informative. So I think that's all I had to share about the storms. Thank y'all so much for whatever you're saying over there in the chat. I know you're adding to it, and that's wonderful. Thank you for doing that. And last week, I completely forgot about the wisdom from the comments because I was focusing on the storm stuff. So I want to share a little bit of those. There's not as many, of course, because we've all been thinking about the storm and not really thinking about wisdom. But please continue to leave those wisdom comments. Please continue to leave them, and I will try my best to share them. So let's go back and see. There's not many, but see if I can find the ones I wanted to share. I've got too many screenshots of different stuff. Okay. Ain't there yet. Okay, here's one from Brenda. Thank you, Brenda. My husband says a cheater's trophy rings hollow. A cheater's trophy rings hollow. That is really good, and makes me think of one of the things, of course, that happens anytime there's like the disaster like Helene. Is there's so many scammers, and I hope worse. I mean, of course, I hope they don't get no trophy, but I hope that they would repent from their ways and stop trying to scam people. So definitely have to be careful about that. And that's one of the things a lot of those Facebook pages are warning about is be wary of somebody trying to claim they're there to help you and then they want to charge you money and those kind of things. So yes, that's a good one, Brenda. Thank you for sharing that one. This was from Livy. Some words of wisdom that might help those struggling, no matter with what, but especially needed now. I used to want to just give up when anything I was doing seemed impossible. My mama would sit me down and tell me, everything seems impossible until you do it. Just look at how far you have come. And without fail, I would keep going. She was right. I had already made impossible progress and I could just take a few more steps. A few more steps turned into miles eventually. I will continue to pray for all the people impacted on all sides. Much love from Texas to you and everyone in this time. Thank you, Livy. And that's so true. Sometimes we just need need to keep going a little bit and to remember to look back to where we have been, and then that gives you encouragement to continue. Very wise there. That's good. This was from Birdwalker. Words of wisdom. Tipper, I don't know who said this, but I heard it from Tara Lee Cobble of the Bible Recap. God will either give us what we ask for in prayer, or he will give us what we would have asked for if we knew everything he knows. Very wise if you're a believer. God definitely knows better than I do what I need, and I can look back over my life and see that. Funny thing, hindsight is 2020. You can look back and say, "Oh, well, I'm glad, God, you didn't let that what I was praying for happen because I can see you had something better." So thank you, Birdwalker. That was great. Thank you. I don't think that was all. Maybe there's one more. I didn't. I'll share this one. It's not really wisdom, but going back to the, uh, amazing stories like the bull, the one that I shared about the bull, it's kind of like that one, but I've not seen a video or anything. Says this is from Sheila. Did y'all hear about the Bible that was stuck on a 4-foot post open to Revelation 14? Um, and then she's one of the ones that told me also a bull was stuck under barn roof for 21 days. So thank you, Sheila, for sharing those. You were one of the ones that I'd heard about, but I hadn't seen the video till this morning. This one's from Kim Tatum. Thank you, Kim. Sending my best. Here's old folks saying from my area of Rising on, Georgia. Folks will reply to someone who got ahead of themselves and done something real dumb, trying to be smarter, but plumb embarrassed themselves. Dad would say, "Look at you." Let's say, Dad would say, "Look at you. You done gone and skint your ignorance." Skint, like Skint. Skint your ignorance. If and you'd let up on the know it all, that wouldn't happen as much. I love that, Kim. That really made me smile. I can just hear some of my family too saying, "Look at you, you done gone and scant your ignorance," showing like you skinned it, so it's showing now. You had it hidden, and now you've shown it. I love that. Love that so much. Thank you, Kim, for sharing that one. That's a nice one that makes you. It is wise, but it also makes you smile. Also makes you smile. I love our rich, colorful Appalachian language and the way we use humor in wisdom. And of course, other cultures do that too. But that one was that Kim shared was definitely Appalachian for sure, just the way her dad would say that. So thank you so much. And country people. And a lot of times people tell me, well, Tipper, I say that and I'm in California, Iowa, or whatever. The wonderful thing about language is it travels. So one of the reasons it stayed here in where I'm at is because so many generations of people stayed, but there were some generations of people that didn't stay. They took off out west, you know, and then if they stayed in those places a long time, their family, those words and phrases and sayings hung on there too. And, you know, went south and north and all that. So really fascinating to think about how it travels. I thank each of you for spending time with me this morning. I thank you for continuing to pray for all those in need and pray for one with another. And I'm glad you come on Monday mornings to fellowship one with another and with me. I appreciate everything you do for us. And I hope all of you have a really, really wonderful week. I love you all. Bye-bye.